This episode associates with our experience in operating the plant at capacity lower than 100%. Based on the design basis, we know that we are supposed to run the plant to operate the plant at 100% capacity. But unfortunately, because of the shortage of feedstock for a period of time, we were supposed to work at 60%, at 70%, for a long period, in fact, at 60%, 70% of the capacity. So we're going to talk about the consequences of working at the capacity lower than the 100 capacity, 100% capacity. So let's go to the piano ID to see uh, what experience we have gained. Here you see the piano ID. On the upstream, we have a storage tank, and this storage tank contains surplus amount of process condensates. For the purpose of optimizations, we are supposed to use this process. We can use this process condensate as the source of water for steam loop generations, because the chemistry of this process condensate on the upstream is extremely analogous to boiler feed water chemistry. Therefore, based on this laboratory analysis, we could use this process condensate as the BFW source. So here it passes through it goes to the suction of this pump or this pump or this pump. It becomes pressurized, and after pressurizations, it passes through this control valve and goes to the shell and tube reactor. The water, this water goes to the shell side of the reactor, and we have catalyst inside the tubes. And when the gas stream passes the tube, inside the tube, the reaction takes place, and since the reaction is extremely exothermic, there is a great deal of heat transferred from the tube side to the shell side. And because of this matter, a great deal of water vaporizes, and we have some steam, and we can use that steam for downstream equipment. But all of these statements are correct when we are working at 100 capacity. Unfortunately, we were working at 60% capacity, since the heat produced in that reactor is much lower than the time that we were working at 100%. We didn't need that much process condensate. So we had excess amount of process condensate for that period of time. So we used that process condensate to feed the deaerator. As you see here, this line is connected to the deaerator via this control valve, and this line is just only used during a startup of the plants. So we can call it the normally open valve, and we can call it this valve normally closed, because we're not going to use it in normal conditions at 100% capacity. Because of the startup activities, sometimes in order to keep the level at the range, keep the level of that storage tank or a storage drum in the range, we have to use this line to the can and transfer some of this water to the deaerator. But as I said, that period of time, since there was a shortage of feedstock, we couldn't use it for here, and we had to use it. We had to use this control valve for a great deal of time, and unfortunately, this control valve experience a great deal of corrosion and flashing. How? Because here the pressure is around 32 bar gauge, and here the pressure is around 2 bar gauge. Now you can see the high pressure drop, and this high pressure drop caused a great deal of flashings. If it was for a short period of time, especially during a startup, it wouldn't damage that control valve, the body of the control valve. But since it was for a long period of time, 6 months, this control valve became corroded excessively in a way that we had to replace the control valve with new one. So that was our experience in running the plant when the capacity is lower than 100%. You might experience such consequences for your plant. I hope that this video would be beneficial for your career, and you would be able to use such experience in order to avoid any consequences. Have a good day.